Hi, welcome, and we have Akwasi uh, Frimpong. I hope I got the name right. He's the
Yeah,
first.
you did a good job.
He's the first and only Ghanaian who is representing Ghana for the Winter Olympics 2018, and he's going for the what do you call it? What do you call
Skeleton.
the what? The skeleton.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's going for the skeleton. So we are going to go into his story. He has a very fascinating story, which I would like you guys to get on with. Get to know more about Akwasi, who came into Europe, specifically Netherlands, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you came to Netherlands as a child and had to go through immigration issues, and then he somehow found his way into his talents, and now he is making Ghana and Africa proud in this year's Winter Olympics. So some of you have sent in some questions for me to ask Akwasi, but we need to know, who is Akwasi in the first place? Who are you? Who are you, man? How did you get there?
Well, okay, my name is Akwasi Frimpong. I was born in Ghana, in a beautiful city called Kumasi. And my mom is a gospel singer. Her name is Esther Amwako, a well-known Ghanaian gospel singer. And in 1989, my mom left left Ghana to go to Europe for a better living education for our family. So we joined her in 1995 when I was 8 years old. So we joined her in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and that's where I discovered track and field. But before that, I was 13 years illegal in the Netherlands. The government did not want to grant us our papers, even though we earned it, because 13 years later, they found out they had made a lot of mistakes. But in the meantime, I was doing sports, and I did track and field, where I won my first gold medal at the age of 17 as a youth on the 200-meter sprint. And I was able to represent the Netherlands in a lot of great competition internationally, but I wasn't able to because I was an illegal immigrant. I broke a little bit of my ankle, a bone in my ankle, and no doctor wanted to help me because I didn't have insurance. So it was really a tough thing. I still have internal scars of how I was treated by the government in the Netherlands. And also, my youth was taken away from me. But I still never gave up. I was able to get a scholarship in the USA as a runner and as an athlete, but also because of my education, because I did well in school. So I moved to Utah, to Salt Lake City. And that's where I'm calling from right now, actually. I'm in Salt Lake City as we talk. And here I did track and field as well. And I went to school. I did marketing with a minor in business management at the university here. And in 2012, I had a great opportunity to represent the Netherlands in the Summer Olympics as a track and field athlete. But because of a tendon injury, I wasn't able to. And then in 2013, I was recruited to try bobsled, which is also a winter sport as well. We have the great Nigerians doing that now as well. And that didn't work out. In 2014, I missed the Olympics again for the second time. But I stayed persistent. I kept my head above water, and it was my dream and my goal to make the Olympics. So after 15 years dreaming of the Olympics, now finally I'm there to represent my country, Ghana.
Wow, that's a remarkable story. Come on, how did you realize that you had that talent? At what point did you realize that, hey, I can do this thing?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that, but my coach, who was a Dutch coach, told me that skeleton would be a great fit for me because the first 50 meters in our sport, you have to push the sled really fast. So you have to have speed. And then you dive on it, and then you have to navigate through an ice channel about 1,600 meters long, with your chin only about 7 centimeters from the ice. So that part, I didn't know that I had talent, but I had talent to push the sled really fast. So I'm now learning more the sliding part. So about a year and a half ago, I started the Ghana Bobsled and Skeleton Federation.
Okay. Now, but before the coach came in, that means you would have been practicing before, isn't it? So how did
Well,
you start practicing? Who introduced you to the game? How were you introduced to the game?
yeah. So because I was recruited by the Dutch bobsled team, which is also an ice sport as well, where you have 2 or 4 guys in a sled that goes really hard down. I was recruited to do that after 2012. The same coach who said, "Hey, I know you didn't make it to the Summer Olympics, but I think you'd be a great fit for the bobsled because you have to push the sled fast." So she recruited me, and then I tried out. I did some training with them, and I made a team. That's how I kind of started getting into it. And I took a break after 2014 when I missed the Sochi Winter Olympic Games. I took like 2-3 year break. And the same coach contacted me and said, I think you should do skeleton. Oh. And because it's an individual sport, it's more fitted to me. I have my own life in control. And so then what I did is I went to Park City here in Utah. They have an ice track here. And and I tried it out and I loved it. It was really scary in the beginning because you're going 140 kilometers per hour with your head first. It was very scary, but that's how I started slowly practicing it.
Mm-hmm. So that means there are other sports that you do as well. Which one is that?
Yeah, so basically for the training, I do running, weightlifting, and learning how to push the sled. That's how I do training. So people can do that in Ghana, in Africa, for the 6 months, 7 months in the summer. And then in the winter, I go on ice, and then I put it all together and do it on ice.
You know, there's a question I asked you earlier, which I think you skipped it. Like, at what point, because there's somebody, I think somebody sent that question as well. At what point did you realize that you can actually do sports before you went into skeleton or any other form of sports? You know, then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very, very good question. So actually, that was a really good one because when I was 15 years old in the Netherlands, I was recruited by Sami Monsels, who is a Surinamese guy who lives.
Sorry, why did he recruit you?
He recruited me at the junior high school when he saw me running at the track and field event for my school. We were just doing sports day.
Oh.
You know, just the junior high school, we just doing sports day. And he saw me going really fast because one of my teammates lost the baton on the floor and we were behind 40 meters and I took the baton and I chased and I closed the 40-meter gap and I won. So he said, this guy's very talented. So he recruited me, but I did not want to run. Because I'm from Africa, I always wanted to do soccer. So I don't want to run. But that point, a couple months later, there was a friend of mine that lived in the Netherlands in our neighborhood. He showed me a medal that he had won at the competition. And I saw that and I was like, man, I don't have any trophy in my closet. I don't have any medals. I want to know what it feels like to win. So because I saw that medal, I joined my coach club. And that's how it all started.
That's amazing. You see, so that's the story. This is the story, the backstory that is most much more important that everybody wants to hear. How did this start? How do your mom feel now?
Well, they're really blessed and they are grateful for me being able to achieve my goals and dreams. You know, I have Ghanaian parents. They are really quiet. They are chill. The most important thing, even when they heard I've qualified, they said, thank God. That's all they say, because they have seen us go through a lot of struggle, being illegal immigrants, not having enough food on the table, not having money to pay lawyers. They have struggled a lot. So now that they can see me accomplish my dream and goal, they're delighted, that they're really grateful, and they're really happy for me.
Oh, thank God. Now, during the course of preparing for this Olympics now, what has been the most challenging decision that you've had to take?
There's been a few of them. Obviously, a black guy on ice is not very common. And, definitely not in the sport of skeleton, because I am the first one ever male skeleton athlete from the whole world that's qualifying for the Olympics. So that's a challenge because then people seem like you don't belong here. That's one thing. Financially, was tough in the beginning as well because I have to travel a lot around the world to be able to compete. And luckily, I have a sponsor who came in a couple months ago, Coco from Ghana, to support me. So that went really well. Another thing too is to leave my family behind as well. I sacrificed a lot because my wife in the beginning when I started had to work 2 jobs while she was pregnant for me to be able to train and compete and qualify for the Olympics. So I would say sacrificing your family, the financial part was a tough thing. And also people, the unknown, people just being scared of something they don't know.
Now, how do you feel between, you now you live in the Netherlands and you're competing for Ghana. How do you feel? How does it feel? Does it feel any strange that you're competing for your home country, not where you're resident?
Well, actually, right now, so I have a Dutch passport and I have a Ghana passport, so I have a dual citizenship. First, I had zero. Now I have, 2 or 3.
I know.
Yeah, and now I live in Salt Lake City in the U.S. actually. But a lot of people say, why you're not competing for the Netherlands? Because I did in track and field and I did in bobsledding. Well, it's really simple choice because I'm 31 now, and I realized that I have done a lot in the Netherlands as an athlete, but also be an example for the youth. And I've also done a lot in the USA. I organized events here for the community and things like that, but I have not done anything yet for the country where I was born, Ghana. So this is a way for me to give back to Ghana and give back to Africa, to leave a legacy behind that's far, far more bigger than myself so that others can follow that as well.
Oh, that's a proud thing to do, isn't it? And I think Africa needs you more than Netherlands, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if they need me more, but I will say that, there's a lot of sports people in the Netherlands. There's a lot of examples already. We need more examples for Ghana and for Africa, because it would mean nothing to me if I made it to the Olympics, but I could not motivate or inspire the kids in Ghana to be able to come out of their comfort zone and to go after their wildest dream. Now I'm actually doing something more than just myself. I'm now doing something for Ghana and for the continent of Africa.
Yeah. Okay, let me take a few of the questions that people have asked. And of course, I think I've asked some of them, but this one is from Victoria Brooks. They'll be watching the video as well when it's uploaded. It says, how did your career started? That's the question she asked, which you've already answered. And it said, what is your aim and where do you see yourself in a couple of years? So
Yeah,
what's
that's a great
your aim? The first question now that's from Victoria Brooks. She says, what is your aim? That's first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Right now there's so many opportunities out there. Right now I'm fulfilling my duty as an athlete. I'm also an entrepreneur and a public speaker as well. So I keep myself very busy. But my goal right now is to go to 2018 Olympics and make Ghana proud. My goal was always the 2022 Olympics when I started the skeleton event, because I really want to give myself enough time to learn the sports, because it takes like 4 or 6 years to really learn how to steer that sled. But now luckily I'm able to make my goal and dream become a reality 4 years before. So now going to the games, the Winter Games, is to break barrier, is to make history for Ghana, is to gain experience for the next Olympics. And after this Olympics, my goal is to help more Ghanaians get into the winter sport. We want to be able to not to only see me at the 2022 Olympics, but have a whole team there. And in between, I'm doing a lot of charity work, public speaking, and I'm an entrepreneur. I like to be an entrepreneur as well. So.
And she says again, where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
In a couple of years, I see myself, I don't know, being a coach or, being part of the IOC, maybe the International Olympic Committee, whereby I can kind of inspire more Ghanaians and more Africans to do sports and to get them more into the Olympic sport. So I see myself in a position where I can influence a lot and I can actually help Africa and Ghana in the sports world.
Okay. Then I have Hagen Meredix from Germany. She has asked, how did you dare all odds to get to where you are now? Where you are. Okay, let me read it how he said. He asked how he dared all odds to get to where he is today.
It's a good question. It's a really good one, because think about it, 15 years dreaming of this goal, and then 13 years being illegal, feeling like you live in an isolated place because you're not able to do anything, show your God-given talents. One thing I remember, when I was 8 years old and I was living in Ghana, I lived with my grandma Minka. One thing she always told me is, Akwasi, what you need for success is already in you. It is a matter of believing yourself, having the will to work hard and never give up. So every time I wanted to give up, I really remember my grandma's voice telling me that I have what it takes to be a champion. I have what it takes to be the best. I have to just believe in myself, work really hard and never give up.
Then this one is from Hannah Moscardini. She says, what keeps him going despite the challenges? What keeps you going? I think it's part of what you just answered, but let's see, maybe you have something
Well, yeah, my family keeps me going. I have I have an 8-month-old baby. Her name is Ashanti, and Ashanti is the tribe of where I'm from Ghana, the Ashanti tribe. And, you know, my family has such an unconditional support. And I don't think that I'll be able to do what I'm doing today without the support of my wife and my little baby. They really inspire me and push me to be the best that I can be. So, yeah, so I definitely think that my family really is an important part of what I'm doing. You know, they say that, you know, a successful man, there's somebody behind him, right? And I wouldn't be where I am today without the support of my wife.
Wow. Then, and the last question from our Facebook page is this one. Is from Diana Benskin. She's from US. She has said, "How did you avoid any pitfalls towards achieving your goal, and who are your mentors?"
One of my mentors, my coach who recruited me when I was 15 years old, Sami Monsels, he's like a dad to me. He's the guy that told me at the age of 17, you have what it takes to become an Olympian. And I always stay in contact with him as well. There has been pitfalls. There have been times that I wanted to give up. Absolutely. There's been really, really difficult times, not having the resources, not knowing if I can reach my goal. What are people thinking of me? Sometimes the perception, missing the Olympics in 2012, missing in 2014, and then coming out and saying, I am going for the 2018 games. You know, people will be laughing at you. But what keeps me definitely going is to believe myself. Is to know that if I don't believe myself, nobody else will. And God is my, you know, I have God in my life, and I pray to God always, every day, and I ask him to direct me in the right direction, to give me the strength. I believe that God puts the heaviest thing on the shoulders of people who can handle it. And I think that God wanted to use me to be able to motivate and inspire Africa, and especially Ghana.
Do you think you're going to win?
You know, if God wants that, it will happen. I'm very realistic. I'm an athlete, and I'm very new to the sport. It takes like 4 or 6 years to be very competitive. I'm going to the Olympics right now to compete with people who've been doing the sport for 6 years minimum, of even 15 years. It's a lot of experience. It's not just like, hey, I'm black and I'm fast, you know. It's a really different kind of sport. So 2022 is where I want to win, and I want to win a medal for Africa, because Africa has never won a winter medal before, and Ghana has never won gold in the summer or winter Olympics. So that's my goal. So 2018 is for the experience, and I would love to surprise myself, but now I'm going for the experience.
I think there are 3 ladies from Nigeria who are Nigerians, but they're coming from the US. Have you met them yet?
I've met them. I actually supported them, and I actually helped them a little bit on their journey. We all good friends, and we all support each other. I see them at competitions, and I'm so excited. It's not just me, but it's more people. They also have a skeleton athlete who's a female as well, Simi. And so Africa's rising in the winter sport.
Yeah. So so how is it going to feel that, you know, if you actually win and you see yourself waving the Ghana flag? How would that be for you?
Oh my gosh, that would be it. That would be the legacy that we leave behind, and I think that will really not just only be a medal for me, but for whole Africa. How I would feel is I would just be, I don't even know how I'm gonna feel. maybe I need to start thinking of it. But I'll be very excited, but it'll be a very, very emotional thing to not just me, to the world. So
yeah, thank you so much, Akwasi. I know you are very busy. In fact, I had to pin you down to get this interview, you know, and we really, really appreciate you on C-Hub Magazine, and we wish you all the best, and keeping our fingers crossed, and, you know, cheering on for you, us and our readers. We hope that, you know, you come out with the best results for yourself and for your country and for Africa as a whole. So thank you so much, and good luck.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.